Tipp FM's Tip Today.
With Slattery's Garage, Puck On. Over half a century driving the people of Tipperary and surrounding areas with quality, reliable and economical vehicles, new and used. Call the sales team today to discuss your next car or van on 067 24111.
Welcome back to Tip Today. Just to bring you some reaction to what we've been discussing this morning in relation to the Shannon Pipeline project. Listener says, surely the 700 million invested in harvesting rainwater and incentivising harvesting rainwater in all buildings in Dublin should go some way to resolve the problem, along with desalinisation options, which are very viable and operate currently in Perth and also in California. Also, a listener was on to us because we were talking to Kevin McSharry about generators and more people looking for generators with ongoing outages. And a listener says, my husband is on home dialysis and is wondering what it would cost for a generator to power that machine during an electricity outage. Unfortunately, I saw that after Kevin had left. So if anyone has any advice for that listener, we would appreciate it. Also, in relation to weather warnings, we were speaking to Kevin about those as well. A listener says these weather warnings are ridiculous. At present in Ireland, we're in the winter months and on an island in the Atlantic Ocean. We get weather. Common sense should tell us to be prepared. Keep those texts coming into us this morning. 083 311 3311 or 1800 938 007. We've also gotten some phone calls from listeners saying that they can't seem to get us, particularly in North Tipperary, some areas of North Tipperary. We're looking into the issue at the moment. If you're having a problem with Alexa, the best thing to do is maybe go to the Tipp FM website and you'll definitely be able to pick us up there if there is any issue. Okay, moving on. A student who suffered a stroke at the age of 2 is helping other cardiovascular survivors through their health ordeals. 23-year-old David O'Donnell from Ballina had to learn to walk and talk again after enduring a stroke as a toddler in November 2004. He joins me on the line this morning. David, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on with us. I mean, a stroke at the age of 2. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I presume you wouldn't have many memories from that time, would you?
No, I don't recall anything, to be honest. But my parents, from what my parents told me, it was a very scary time for us. Definitely, yeah.
Tell us what happened.
So, I was in the other room, but I had a baby monitor by my crib, and my parents were listening during the night, and they heard a bit of stirring from me, so they came in and checked on me, and I was fine. But then the next morning, when I was getting up and ready for the day, they found that I couldn't get up, or I couldn't stay on my feet for too long. I was just smiling. I couldn't talk either. So they said something's wrong. So they rushed me to the GP, and the GP said, okay, something's awfully wrong. We don't know what, but get him into the UHL in Limerick. And yeah, there I was. I did a bunch of tests, MRIs, scans, and it was there that they found out I had stroke.
My God, and what happened then after that in terms of treatment, and how long were you in hospital?
Yeah, so I was in the UHL for about 3 or 4 days, and then they transferred me to Crumlin in Dublin, and I stayed there for about a month. And from that perspective, it was hard on my family. But then I did physiotherapy for about 10 years, and speech and language therapy for about 2. No one thought I would walk or talk again, so it was great to defy the odds in that regard, you know.
Yeah, and has it had any long-lasting or impact on you, or?
Yeah, so I suffer a lot from spasticity, which is involuntary muscle spasms. It affected my right side. It kind of hits me more when I'm tired. I tense up a lot, or when I'm nervous, or when I'm giving a presentation or something like that in university. But obviously I learned how to walk again and talk again, and I'm very glad that I got a second chance. So but it's a small price to pay. But yeah.
Yeah, and did they ever find out the reason for why you had a stroke at the age of 2?
No, they said to my parents it was caused by a virus, but I think that could be anything really, and they didn't give us any concrete answers. They still haven't to this day.
Yeah. It's just incredible. I mean, but unfortunately, it's not rare. I mean, for how many people a year do we think, or do we know, suffer stroke in Ireland?
It's up in the thousands, unfortunately, tens of thousands in Ireland each year. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'm just so glad to have a second chance, because most people don't get that, and yeah, it's very unfortunate. Not rare.
But it has inspired you in terms of what you want to do and what you want to do in terms of work in your life, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it has, because I work now with in Villiers in Limerick in the secondary school, and I help students with, academic difficulties or, personal difficulties, whatever it may be. But I help students now in similar situations to me, but also different ones. But it's just giving back to people. I want to help people. So, that's what I'm doing, and I'm very grateful for it.
I know you probably don't have the numbers to hand, but in terms of young people who suffer stroke, is it rare?
Yeah, I was talking to a doctor up in the RCSI in Dublin, and she said that it happens to about 30 to 40 kids my age who are 2 a year.
Wow.
So, in Ireland. So I've never met anyone who had a stroke my age from here, but yeah, it does happen. Yeah.
It brings to mind actually a memory I have from primary school. And I think I was in 6th class, and a pupil in the school, a schoolmate of mine, I think he was in 4th class at the time, suffered stroke in the middle of the school day. And none of us knew what was going on. It was traumatising, obviously, for him and for the teachers, because they weren't really sure what to do. But for all of us, it's probably the strongest, most pertinent memory from school I have in my head was that poor lad having a stroke.
Really?
So it's not completely rare, but the trauma of that for the person suffering it and witnessing it can last a lifetime.
Oh, it can. And I'm doing my master's now in UL, but my research is in stroke and the psychological impact of that. And I've done 15 interviews so far with people who had strokes. They're all in their 20s or 30s, but they all say it's had long-lasting effects on them, as it has on me as well.
Yeah. Tell us about, I know the programme that you're involved in as well. I mean, it is delivered online because obviously there may be some mobility issues for some people. So it is very accessible.
It is, absolutely it is. I'm very grateful to be doing it because I love it. I'm very passionate about it. Yeah.
And is that with the Irish Heart Foundation then, David?
Yeah, it's with the Irish Heart Foundation. I got in touch with them about 6 months ago now, last year, and they've been brilliant. I want to give a shout out to Pauline, Laura, Susie and Sarah. They've been excellent. They all work in the Irish Heart Foundation, and they couldn't be more welcoming if they tried. But the program I was doing, it was like an advocacy program, so that's for people who have strokes. And it's very fulfilling. It's very rewarding work. I just love helping people whatever way I can.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very grateful to be doing it.
I imagine it must be very isolating because there is often a long stint in hospital and then a long stint in physiotherapy as well, and then mentally trying to recover from it as well. But there is no two cases the same. Sure, there isn't.
No, there's not. And as I said, I'm interviewing people, and everyone has a different story. But it's like one of the participants said, you don't choose to have a stroke, but it's kind of like you don't want to be part of the group in the Irish Heart Foundation, but now that you are, it's brilliant because you can share your stories, and while they don't have complete empathy with you because they don't have a similar experience like you said, they can share a bit of sympathy and a bit of empathy and a bit of encouragement to keep going, and that's brilliant.
Your own experience growing up with that then, I mean, how was it for you growing up, or was it just something that you became used to, so it was always there?
I guess a bit of both. I was always very conscious in primary school, more so that I was different because my spasticity was worse back then. But then in secondary school and especially university, I kind of flourished a bit, and I said, okay, it's no point getting sad and down about this, and it's already happened. I can't change it, so I might as well do my best to get on with it and be relentless in that pursuit of I'm never going to be back to 100%, but I can be the best I can be, after it, considering everything. So now just get where I can.
And I know there would be a lot of nervousness as well among people. I've spoken to them before who've suffered stroke in the past, and they get very anxious and maybe a little bit paranoid whenever they get a bit of a headache, and they're afraid that it's coming again. And it's dealing with that fear on a day-to-day basis as well. Is that something you feel that's underreported?
Oh, it is definitely, because I keep going back to the interviews, but all 15 of them have said they have health anxiety now around the stroke. And they wake up every day, and if they even have a headache, as you said, they could be spiraling, in their own heads. And that was a lot for my parents to take on, the health anxiety. And I was only 2, so I didn't experience that at the time, but my parents did definitely. So it is really, really important to look at that.
David, what advice would you have for somebody maybe who's, coming through recovery after a stroke now, or there's somebody who's supporting someone who's coming through that? What advice would you have for them?
Well, I would say definitely number one is get in touch with the Irish Heart Foundation if you can. But number two is, take it easy on yourself, because, while it has happened to you, it's very adverse, thing to happen, and people can get bitter almost and say, "Why me?" But I take the perspective of it's already happened now. I can't change it. I don't live in the past. I live for today. So just keep going. It feels really, really hard. Just I don't know how to put it. That will to keep going, because you have no choice. You have no choice but to keep going. It's do or die. That kind of way. But yeah, just take it easy on yourself as well, and know that it will get better, Yeah. And it did for. So,
David, it's been a pleasure to talk to you this morning, and I wish you every success in the future. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks a million for having me. Thank you.
No problem, David. Thank you so much. That's David O'Donnell there, and we'll have the contact information as well for the Irish Heart Foundation here if anyone is looking for it. Keep those texts coming into us. 083 311 3311.
Tipp FM's Tip Today.
With Slattery's Garage, Puckon. It's time to change. Test drive the award-winning range of Peugeot hybrids and fully electric vehicles at Slattery's Garage today. See slatterysgarage.ie.